we are being driven by the economic data. This is what the Fed and the Fed officials have been saying over the last couple of weeks, coming into one of the most important economic data points of the month, the CPI data, the inflation data in the US. Guys, we'll be going through in today's video how to trade the release of the CPI data this week, as well as the consequences that this may have on the broader stock market, which will most likely dictate whether this rally can continue or whether we have a much needed pullback. We'll also be going through, guys, this chart over here. Now, we've introduced this to you last week, and we mentioned last week that we needed this level to hold. Now, this has held quite nicely, so we'll be discussing the next possible outcomes, as well as, guys, we'll be discussing the trend line over here on the NASDAQ. This trend line has finally been broken. Last time this trend line was broken, back in the rally that we had in August of 2022, it led to new lows in the NASDAQ. So we'll be discussing what are the possibilities of this happening as well now that this trend line has been broken. And as always, guys, if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We do bring out the latest stock market analysis every single Monday morning. And if you do enjoy today's video, please give it a like and share it with anyone else that may also find it useful. Now, guys, I just wanted to start off by looking at the S&P here. Now, last week, okay, we had a nice trade here on Friday, which has played out perfectly. Now, on Friday, we had quite a nice pullback coming into Friday, and then on Friday we had price coming into the 1 hour IC as well as below the lower expected move for the week. Now, we did give out this signal free on our Discord channel. So we did say in our Discord channel, guys, and if you are not part of our Discord community, go over to our website, MCI Trading Academy.co.uk, and request your free access, guys. It doesn't cost anything, it is all free. Now, on Friday, we did post a message in the morning that the US 500, the S&P 500, is coming into the 1 hour IC right below the lower expected move. And we were looking for a small bounce. And if we didn't get a bounce, we were expecting price to go all the way down to 4,000. But guess what, guys? We did get quite a nice bounce from here. And we rebounded. That was it was a beautiful trade that we got on Friday. So again, guys, if you're not part of the Discord community, go back and request your access. Now, before I go into more technical analysis, just wanted to show you the economic data that we have this week, guys. So the only data that we should be focusing on this week would be the CPI data. Now, the CPI data is expected year on year to drop from 6.5% that we got last month to 6.2%. And the month-over-month CPI data, okay, is expected to actually go to increase month-over-month by 0.5%. Now watch this data, guys, because if we get a higher than expected year-over-year and also a higher than expected month-over-month, that will lead to the Fed having to be more restrictive and having to tighten for longer, okay, which may cause a massive crash in the stock market. So be prepared for that. If we get a lower than expected CPI both year-on-year and month-over-month, guys, okay, that will give more fuel to this rally to keep on rallying, and we'll be discussing what levels we'll be expecting this to rally to in the technical analysis part. So watch this, guys. Now, one thing I need to mention to you guys is that the CPI data, they changed the calculations of the CPI data, funny enough, right? Okay, just before this much anticipated result, okay, release on Tuesday. So don't be surprised if this comes in lower. Why? Because they changed the way they calculate this. Okay, why they've done that? They give more weighting to some of the factors and some some less weighting to others, which, okay, we'll have to see how this will pan out on the actual overall CPI data. Now let's just go straight into the technical analysis, guys, and start off by looking at the S&P 500 here, guys. So we've mentioned that already. We've had a nice reaction out of the 1 hour IC here. Now we're actually building here on the 1 hour chart. We are actually building an inverse head and shoulders here, which can play out quite nicely. Okay, here. So if this is to play out, guys, this will get us right into this hourly IC here. So monitor this for this week prior to perhaps CPI data to see if price gets all the way up in this 1 hour IC. If we lose, guys, if we do lose this 1 hour IC in here, guys, then I do expect us to go lower, perhaps right here, okay, at 4,000. Now 4,000, guys, is a psychological level. This is where the bulls and the bears will be fighting for their life. If the bulls lose this level, then we go a lot lower. If the bulls manage to fight off this level, okay, and get a significant bounce, then I expect us to go a lot higher. Now, where do we expect us to go, guys? And again, this will perhaps be driven by the CPI data. But if the 4,000 level gets defended, then I expect us to go and perhaps retest, come all the way back, fill this gap that we've been discussing over the last couple of weeks, fill this gap here, and then perhaps come into this daily IC here, which will be right below the upper expected move for February, guys. So all the way back in here, back around 4,270 or so. And I think here, guys, we also have, if I'm not mistaken, we have a nice 4 hour IC here as well. So monitor that, okay, it will be a very interesting level. But if we do lose that 4,000 level, then expect new, more downside pressure there, guys. Now let's go back to the NASDAQ here, guys. And the one thing that I want to discuss here is simple. Look at this trend line. Now, guys, it's very important. Now we've broken the trend line. We came back, retested it perfectly, and now we're trying to retest it again. Now we remember what we discussed. Now we're saying here that we would like the 20 and the 50 EMA as well as the trend line to act as resistance. As long as this can hold as resistance, then I can see us going a lot lower. The first target will be this 4 hour IC, and if we lose that, then I want that. I hope we can get all the way back down to 10,770 or so. So that will be a very important level to watch, guys. Whether this trend line can hold and the 20 and the 50 can hold as resistance, and if it can, then expect some more downside pressure. Now, just want to go back to August. So we have this trend line here. The trend line was broken together with the 20 and the 50 EMA, and you can see how the 20 and the 50, guys, acted as what? Resistance, guys, and then broke down and made new lower lows. So if this is the case, then we should be expecting perhaps new lower lows here in the NASDAQ as well at some point during this year, based on this analysis alone. Now, if this trend line, going back here where we are today, if it goes all the way back above the 20, above the 50, and above the trend line, it was a false break, and then we perhaps be expecting new highs here. Where do we expect us to go next? Well, guys, very simple here. If we do go up higher above the trend line, I expect us to go fill this gap here that hasn't been filled, and into this daily IC here, sitting at around 13,440 or so. So a very important level to watch. Very, very important. Next, let's look at the UK 100. And as mentioned, guys, and we discussed this over the last couple of weeks, we're expecting this liquidity zone here to be cleared, and that's exactly what happened. Now, this chart here looks very, very bullish here. The only bearish thing that I can say about this chart here is that we're finally getting negative bearish divergences on the weekly chart, which can be quite powerful. So if we fail to go higher here, then I expect us to have a significant pullback, and the pullback that I'm looking at, guys, will be all the way back into this 4 hour IC, sitting at around 7,480 7,475 or so. So watch, guys. Now the one thing that I'm looking for a significant one-day close below these lows here. If you can get one-day close below that, that will act as a nice signal for us to say that we can go lower all the way to this daily IC, and if we zoom in lower to the 4 hours here that we just mentioned. So monitor, guys, but unless that happens, then we are going higher. Now we don't want to be buying up here because we are at all-time highs and we have no data to the left to say where this can go up to. Okay, so be very careful if you're buying up here, guys. Okay, we normally, what we like to do, we like to buy low and sell high. Okay, but we don't want to sell without the confirmation. At the moment, we don't have that confirmation yet. Everything looks very, very bullish, and you can see that this 20 EMA is holding here as a nice support. So be very careful on that. Next, we get the DAX here. Now the DAX has been very, very sneaky here on us. Now we discussed for the last couple of weeks how we said that if this level is being, if the price goes through this level, then we're expecting price to go all the way into this weekly IC at around 15,560 or so. Now what did the price do last week, guys? Very, very sneaky. Okay, it went up higher, okay, cleared the liquidity above and now cleared the liquidity below. Very, very sneaky. Now I do expect a pullback in here, okay, but again we may go all the way up to the weekly IC and before we get that. And by the way, that weekly IC is sitting at 15,000, let me just double check here, 15,800 or so. Okay, so just I'll make a note of that. Now, what I'm looking for in here, guys, okay, if we do get a pullback, so what we've done here, we cleared the liquidity above, we cleared the liquidity below, and we are just in the middle here. If we manage to break this to the downside, I'm expecting price to go clear the liquidity here and come into this 4-hour IC. Now, this is very, very bullish, guys. So a pullback would be needed, okay, but don't expect us to go to new lows on this chart. This looks very powerful at this time. And if you take our fib from the low to the high here, guys, okay, and we just say yes, then we expect this 4-hour IC here will be perfect. Okay, right into our fib golden levels of 61.8. So in terms of pullback, this is where we like price to go. If we manage to get a 4-hour close below this level, then I expect us to have more pressure. However, if we do go up higher and close above this level, then I expect us to go to that weekly IC. So pay attention to that, guys. Okay. Also in here, this is where I got my alert of that 4-hour IC. You can see price makes it all the way up here, guys. There will be some support also from the 20 and the 50 EMA, which can be quite crucial. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. This level here, if we do get a pullback to it, will be very, very powerful. Next, we get the US 30 here, guys, and there's nothing happened here for the last couple of days, or the days and weeks as well. We've just been consolidating. There's nothing going on here. So all I can say about this chart is we have a close above, a close below. Okay, a 1-day close above or below with some continuation for us to understand where this wants to go next. As it stands, no trading to be done on this. Okay, it's just consolidating. There's nothing much to say about this chart for now. Next, we get the VIX here, guys. Now the VIX, this is very important here, guys. Now we haven't got a close on the VIX with some continuation, okay, above the 20 and the 50. Now we got a daily close above the 50 EMA, okay, back at the beginning of December, and then we got smacked down and then all the way back down below the 20 and the 50. Now this today will be the first time that we go above the 20. The 50 EMA since the beginning of December, and this is very important. If we manage to get a close above and then a continuation above, I think we can go above 25, and if we can hold 25, we go all the way down to 30 and 35. This is very important that this holds, guys. If this doesn't hold, then we go back down, all the way back down to 20, and then the stock market just has a green light to keep rallying. So keep an eye on the VIX, guys. This will be very important this week. Okay, very, very important. Watch this to see what happens. Next, guys, we get the DXY, and this has played out perfectly as we expected. We discussed that we like the price to come into this daily IC. It did, and then retest the trend line, which it did. And now it's exactly at the trend line. What's going to happen next? And this is going to be crucial, guys. It's very important. Do we hold this trend line and then go back down and make new lows? That is a possibility. But if we do break above and close above this trend line, guys, then we can say that was a false break, and then off we go to clear all the liquidity, resting here all the way back to our target of 109,600, guys. This is very important. Okay, if the DXY can hold above the daily, above the can close above the trend line, and the VIX can hold above the 20 and the 50 EMA, then I think we'll lose that 4,000 level of the S&P 500. If that happens, more downside pressure. If those don't happen, then expect the S&P and the broader stock market to rally. Okay, simple as that. Simple as that. Next, let's talk about gold. Now, gold, we talked about how we smashed this trade all the way up here. Now, price is all the way down into this daily IC, and it's right between the 20 and the 50 EMA. Now, we need to see what price wants to do. Do we get a close above the 20 EMA and then we rally all the way up higher, or we get a close below, and then we go all the way down to this daily IC? Now, we did say that if this daily IC doesn't hold, which it may not, guys, okay, then we expect price to go all the way to 1750 or so. Okay, this is a level we like to perhaps buy from. Okay, as it stands, this is in no man's land. Okay, and there's no trades to be done unless we break that those two EMAs. I know we are in this daily IC, but I would like the price to go lower, especially that DXY, it's at a critical level. Next, guys, JPYUSD. Now we smashed this 100%. Now last week I said how we broke this trend line, and I was expecting the 50 EMA to hold our support. We held our support, we had a bounce. Now we didn't get the exact bounce to actually retest this trend line, but what we did, guys, we got the bounce, came back, and now it looks like the 50 is about to break. Hasn't broken yet, but it's about to break. If this breaks, then I expect new lows in here, guys. So that was a perfect trade. I'm going to fade this chart. Okay, we got what we wanted from it. Where can this potentially go to? Well, all the way back in here, back to this daily. Yes, you feel this IPA and back in here. Okay, this would be the ultimate target in here. Stop loss at 0, and off you go. But as it stands, let's see what happens down here. Lastly, guys, let's talk about Bitcoin. Now, price, we had a pullback as expected. Okay, so people that were buying up here, okay, they got burned. Short term, but they got burned. Okay, for now, let's see if we get more downside pressure. Now, first level that I'm watching here, guys, is this 8-hour IC. Do we get the reaction from here and then go to new highs, or do we go through this? Now, if we do go through this 8-hour IC, very important, where do we go to? Okay, all the way back to the lows, because at this 8-hour IC we also have the 50 EMA, which holds our support here. So if this gets broken and we get a daily close below this IC and below the 50 EMA, then we go lower. Okay, perhaps clearing all the liquidity resting here. So a very crucial level here to watch, guys. This is all from me, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you are new to trading and would like to learn more about the strategies that we use, please head over to our website, mcitradingacademy.co.uk, where you can learn more about the one-to-one mentoring courses that we offer, and you can also join the Discord community for free. Thank you very much, guys, and I hope you have a great trading week.